TOA community, welcome back everybody. Robert Linkul with trainingtheolderadult.com. Episode number 11, Wednesdays with Robert. I hope you're all doing well. I was going to do a regular show today. I had a bunch of different topics, a bunch of different things that I wanted to go over. And I have my bald brother from another mother, Dr. Evan Osar, is going to be on with me tomorrow, and we're gonna kind of do the episode with that tomorrow. I want to have him join me, so we're gonna do that. Instead today, I want to do a I've done some reaction videos in the past, and Robert Kennedy and his physique, that kind of stuff. But this one in particular is something I want to share with you. I've done previous videos on highlights and things that are going on and going well. The release of TO Apex, going to present at Fit Body Boot Camp, going to NSCA Nationals, that kind of stuff. It's fun to share highs, and I think it's important to also share lows and to have opportunities to learn from each other. We're all human. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. And there's a certain vulnerability to being able to share some of these things with others that, number one, I think it's therapeutic just to talk about it. Number two, I think there's an opportunity to learn from each other. And so I want to do that today. The Rock, as you see him featured here, The Rock's one of my favorite people. I can't really think of anything The Rock has done other than like one statement that he made a long time ago where it kind of rubbed people the wrong way. Other than that, he's just been like a pretty amazing individual, makes fun movies that are entertaining. My family loves the Jumanji films. Pretty much any movie The Rock is in, we watch it. He doesn't really make anything too raunchy or anything that my kids can't watch it for the most part. Entertaining, good, wholesome dude. Has his booze, has his energy drink, gives a ton back to charity. Just bought a UFC fighter from Africa, a house here in America because he was sleeping on the couches at his gym, and he only had $7 in his pocket, and so that's The Rock's production company is $7. So he kind of connected with him there, bought the guy a house. Doing a bunch of charity work for Hawaii with the fires. I mean, just a great dude. And so when I saw this video, I definitely connected with what he had to say. And I want to share it with you, and we'll kind of talk as we go through it a little bit. And, let's go.
You guys sent me a lot of love and a lot of well wishes and a lot of really great questions and comments. A few days back was my...
Number one, I was having an issue the other day with recognizing how gray my beard is getting. And I was telling Keeg, like, do you think, we were watching the show on Netflix, The Furies, where you, not Mike Tyson, Tyson Fury and his family. And he goes to get his beard trimmed, but he also gets it colored. And I was like, do you think I should color my beard? And I've always been kind of a natural guy. I'm like, just let it be. So seeing The Rock and his all gray beard, I'm like, I'm not coloring this. Like, I'm totally embracing it. I hope all this shit goes white. It's gonna get gray. We're just headed that way. It's gonna be my look. So bald Santa coming your way here soon.
His birthday is heavenly birthday.
Let me go
days
back.
back was my dad's birthday, his heavenly birthday, and I posted a birthday post to him, and a lot of questions came back. As you guys know, I had a very loving, complicated relationship with my old man, like a lot of you guys out there, especially dads of that era, who had to go through so much shit just to overcome. And then raising boys is a whole other thing. Of course, when it's two testosterone, bulls, one's trying to raise the other one, and the other one thinks he knows everything, but
I so think of my dad right here. Two testosterone-filled bulls. could not be further apart on this one. Number one, amazing traps, Rock. Love it. I'm such an admirer. Love the American flag, Old Glory in the background. Number two, talking about his dad's, death birthday, basically, like the day that his dad passed away. And he's about to share some information with us here that's really emotional. I know that the day that my dad passed is going to be a day that stays in my heart forever. Also, his birthday, which we just had, August 18th, the memorial service was the day after that. So we got to celebrate his birthday and then, celebrate his life the day after. So I totally get where he's connecting with this date, and, it's only been a year for him. So still pretty raw.
At that age, you don't know shit. Anyway, great question. A lot of questions and comments. One of them that was consistent was, what was the thing that my dad taught me? What's the best life lesson that my dad taught me? As many of you know, my dad's soul man, Rocky Johnson. He was a bad dude in the game as a professional wrestler. Trailblazer. Became the first black WWE Tag Team Champions of the world back in the early 80s. Him and Tony Atlas. They were superheroes to me and to many, especially kids of color. Little black boys, little brown boys, they were our heroes. Here's my answer to that. My dad taught me two things. My dad taught me respect is given when it's earned, so get out there and earn it. Actually, he would say, respect is given when it's earned, so get your ass out there and earn it.
My dad completely agreed, not in the exact same way, but he was all about work ethic. You had to show your worth, and if you established that with folks, they would, obviously there would be some type of financial reward if it was work oriented or something along those lines, but they would recognize it and they would understand the value and the connection of what you are trying to bring to your work, to your life, to your relationships, all of that. It was work. Never met a guy that was more committed and more devoted to his profession, but also to his family. And, though made some mistakes, especially early on, did his damnedest to make up for it, in the long run. And, I think he did a pretty amazing job of that. So, Rock's dad, I think, instilled some pretty solid foundations in him here, and that's a great one.
And he made sure that I was at the gym. Even at 5 years old, he was kicking my ass on the wrestling mats. So
I didn't have that.
I always remember that, because the thing about that piece of advice, that respect is given when it's earned, you can apply it to any area in life. But the thing that I realized later on down the road is, if you're lucky enough to make it to the top or be great at what you do, whatever it is you do, that's when the next phase of earning that respect kicks in, because you got to prove that you're hungrier than the hungriest, because there's always somebody behind you ready to take that spot. So it all comes down to how bad you want it. It all comes down to how badly you want to earn that respect, and it never stops. Earning that respect never stops. So there's that. But then there was also a lesson, I'll share this with you guys, that he inadvertently taught me, which is, if you have an issue with somebody, a loved one, your father, your mother, your husband, your boyfriend, your wife, your girlfriend, loved ones, whoever, brother, sister, anyone, your friends, if you have an issue, don't let that shit linger. Take care of it. You can be mad for a day, 2 days, but really what you want to do is get in there and take care of that, because I got in a huge fight with my old man. One of the biggest fights we ever got into, and it was over Christmas a few years back, and we weren't talking, and I thought about him every day, and I was conflicted, because it's my old man, and I kept saying, all right, I gotta call him, I gotta call him, I gotta call him. And then he passed away suddenly. And I lost that shot. And now, of course, I gotta live with that, and I gotta reconcile that, every day, because I think about him now every day. I think, damn, I should have made a different decision. So he inadvertently taught me that lesson. You can fight, because we all fight, and we can be pissed, we could disagree, but if it's somebody you love and somebody you care about, take care of that thing. Don't let that shit linger on, because you never know what's around the corner. You never know when you hang up that phone if that's the last time you talk to them. Well, you never know if that's the last hug you get. You never know when you walk out that door and you close the door behind you. So that was an important lesson that he taught me. And as I get a little further down the road with life and experience, I realize, and I firmly believe this, and I tell all my friends this, and my loved ones this, that as long as we're face to face, eye to eye, and we sit down and we're open to the other person's thoughts and perspective, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. There's nothing that we can't take care of.
I respect that so much. Number one, kids just got home, so if you hear screaming in the background. How hard would that be to live with that? Knowing, like, if you know, I don't know if most of you know, like, the story of The Rock, but I've been a fan of him forever, so I know his entire life story. I've read his books. I'm such a huge fan of him. And the relationship he had with his dad was this superstar wrestler. And he just wanted to be just like his dad. And then eventually he got to a point where he was just like his dad. And then he got bigger than his dad. And then he got way bigger than his dad. And then he became massive. Like, The Rock is a international superstar next to Michael Jordan. And I saw this thing the other day. It was like Michael Jordan, The Rock, Donald Trump, Tiger Woods, Jerry Seinfeld. Like, there were these recognizable silhouettes. When people saw them, those were like the top 5 or 8 or something like that. People saw Tom Hanks, that was it, not Jerry Seinfeld. And people are like, that's Tom Hanks, that's The Rock. Like, people knew those. He's one of those, and no matter where he goes, what language, he's this big star. And so, looking up to his hero the whole time, they get into this big fight, and they don't talk for like a couple of years, and then his dad passes, and he never got a chance to reconcile that and never got a chance to finalize it. And, our kids will come up and say things like, I don't want to do that. I'm afraid to do that. I'm scared it's going to hurt. Whatever it is. And our answer, Keegan and I always, our answer back to them is, then that's what you need to go and do. Like, you have to face that shit, just like he's saying, and you keep doing it until you're not afraid of it anymore. I was scared to death to get in front of a camera and talk. I told this story the other day. To pass like 4th grade, our teacher had one of those old, if you're under 40, you're not going to know what I'm talking about, but had an old TV. These were one of the ones where it was like a counter, like a table with a TV built into it. Okay. And he had hollowed that out and put it up on top of like 2 tables in our classroom. And we had to go crawl underneath it and stand inside the TV, pretending we're on television, and give the news. And it was like, today we're having chicken nuggets with applesauce. Like, we had to read the news, like the daily news for the school. And everyone had to do this, okay? And we were going alphabetical order, and Linkul comes in the middle, and so I passed. And so your name just keeps going down the list, but you don't get to pass permanently. You just get passed up. So come the end, everyone had done this except me, and I absolutely refused. And my teacher was like, what if everybody leaves and you just do it in front of me, right? Like, I'll be the only one in here watching you. And I was just like, no, I can't do it. My legs would shake, I would sweat, I'd stumble over my words. I had a hard time reading, to be honest with you. That was the big issue. I couldn't look at a piece of paper and read it out loud. I would just fumble all over the words. And so it was this big mess, right? I just couldn't do it. And luckily, our family knew this teacher really well. My mom came in and talked to him, this and that. He still passed me, but even with the pressure of like, you're going to have to repeat 4th grade, I just couldn't do it. And it still bothers me to this day that I didn't sack up and just fucking do that. Like, you're afraid of something like that. Go after it. Just keep doing it until you're not afraid of it anymore. Come high school, I was in plays. I was front and center. I performed on the football field. Everybody would stand and watch me throw the discus because I was the best thrower out there, some big fish, little pond kind of a thing. Things started to change. And now what do? Sit in front of a camera all day talking to people, right? And now it could be just 2,000 people that see it, or it could be 20 people that see it, or it could be 20,000 people that see it. Who knows? The point is I've become very comfortable doing this to the point where I look forward to it. But if you would have looked at me back then and said, that kid's going to grow up and talk on film, on camera, present on stage in front of hundreds of people, like bring something to, no way. Look at this kid. He can't read, can't stand up and read. You have to face your fears. You have to face these things. I think that's a huge lesson to learn moving forward. If you're afraid of something, if you're scared of something, if you're nervous of something, keep pursuing that. Keep going at that until it doesn't bother you anymore. And in terms of, addressing things with loved ones, family members, that kind of a thing, the experiences I've had are you don't want to carry anything any longer than you have to, and you don't want to carry anything that needs to be said to a point where you can't say it anymore. And some relationships just don't work, guys. Like, you just have to accept that. Some relationships just don't work. Some work great, and you're bonded forever. And no matter how hard you try, you can't not enjoy being around the person. My dad was one of those people. My wife is one of those people. I want to be around them, and I want to spend time with them any and every chance that I get. And then you'll have other relationships with folks that they just don't work out, and that's okay. You have to be okay with that. And it's hard. That is something I struggle with every day. I struggle with the idea that someone may not like me. That's a hard thing for me to deal with. I struggle with people simply disagreeing with me. I'll have people make comments on a video. I get all upset. I carry it around all day with me just because they disagree. You got to take that stuff with a grain of salt. I know I'm giving myself advice, right? Like, we're in a constant pursuit of trying to live the best that we can, make the best decisions that we can. And you're going to develop amazing relationships along the way, and other ones will not be so great. And you have to be okay with that. You need to recognize the great ones and enjoy that and do everything you can to covet that and to protect that and to invest in that. And I have that in my wife. I had that with my dad. And I miss him every day. So when I see, The Rock talking about his dad and missing his opportunity to clear things up, I'm so glad that my dad and I had multiple opportunities to talk at the end and make sure there wasn't anything that, needed to be said. We got to say it all. And just like he said, give hugs because you never know when it'll be your last. That was one of my dad's biggest impacts on me, on my sister, on our family, is to make that love be felt, to make that hug be felt. Because you never know. I say this all the time, we are not guaranteed tomorrow. We invest in our future, we save money for our future. But if you just work for 30 years and then die the day before you retire, what happened? Did you live? Did you have experiences? So we can't Wayne's World it. Live in the now, man. Like, we can't just do that, just live for every moment. But you also have to continue to live and have experiences, and you can't just sit and wait for retirement. So a little bit deeper topic and focus today, I guess. Just I've had a lot on my mind, a lot on my plate, a lot of love and emotion and anything and everything else going around in my head and my heart. And, missing my dad. Feel like, in a way, when I get to get on here and talk to you, I get to talk to him. And, I kind of feel like putting things out over the radio waves gives me an opportunity to share a message with you, but also that it might get, received by him as well. So, yeah, I guess that's all To The Rock, thank you for sharing this. I'm sure you're going to watch this video. But thank you for sharing this. It meant a lot to me to hear you talk about it. You see somebody, especially like The Rock, and you're just like, this guy's got great living and, doing everything he wants to do. And he's got all these great companies, and you can see the daily struggle there. Doesn't matter what you haves and what you don't haves, and the haves and have-nots, as they say, like, everybody's doing the best they can, and just keep striving for that. There's no such thing as perfect, and learn from your mistakes. Do the best you can. And that's why I like these guys so much. Live Bearded over here. First time I saw one of their bracelets, one of their stickers, part of their mantra is do better. And I remember watching a video where someone was like, do better than what? And the guy just goes, just do better. Every day, just try to do better. I think that's awesome. That's every day I try to do better. Make the best decisions I can. Love the best way that I can. Educate the best way that I can. And if we all do that, then hopefully we'll have really great life experiences. But anyhow. Thank you for all listening to me. I appreciate it. Hope you're all good. I promise next time we'll be more upbeat. Dr. Ev, be on here with me tomorrow, and we'll deliver some good stuff to you. So much love and appreciation to all of you. As always, continue to fight your good fight against Sarcopenia. And I will see you in the next one.